So welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I am Luciana Pellegrino, Senior Vice President for WPO, and I'm speaking from Brazil. And it's great to have you with us today. WPO is the World Packaging Organization, a global institutional body that gathers and represents the packaging industry on a global level. WPO holds as members 62 packaging associations and institutes from all around the globe. And what WPO aims for fostering science and innovation, encouraging packaging professionals to go beyond, promoting expertise, building networking and connections, and inspiring our industry to go always beyond. And today, to promote our goal, we are very proud to have Shira Rosen, the chairwoman from the Israeli Institute of Packaging with us, that is going to present the webinar, Packaging as a Marketing Tool. Shira, welcome. So nice to have you.
Thank you, Luciana. And hello, everybody. I will share my presentation. You see it in a mode of presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. So I'm delighted to be part of the WPO webinar, and I would like to thank you for attending this session. And I hope you enjoy and learn something new. And I will be focusing today about the packaging as a marketing tool. So we can all agree that we live in a very dynamic times that that can be very challenging. And when we're talking about the new normal, we can agree that it's equivalent to constant change. That on one hand can be very challenging, but on the other hand, it can open a lot of opportunities. And I would like today to focus on the opportunities. Marketing is about building relationships with our customers. And I will try in this session to show how packaging can be a very effective and powerful tool and platform to engage with the customers and build long-lasting relationships. And we'll focus on long-lasting because it's very challenging, as we said, that there is a lot of changes and a lot of new needs from our customers and a lot of competitors. And to build a long-lasting relationship, we need three main key success factors. Studies show that the three main factors are engagement, value, and trust. And I will talk about these three factors and how we achieve them through packaging. If we look at the role of packaging, we have, like the Maslow pyramid, three levels. The first one is the functional needs that consists containment, protection, preservation, safety of our customers. I will not talk about it today. It's a different presentation. I will talk today about the two other levels, the cognitive needs and the emotional needs. Of course, you can't reach the cognitive and emotional if the functional needs are not, doesn't work okay. But the cognitive needs, of course, is about sharing knowledge and with your customer, being transparent and building the trust through it, being convenient, helping the customer to control his life, whether it's time consuming or his health, or value for money. And of course, today, also connectivity with all the social media. And the last one and the most important, I think, is the emotional needs, which is the engagement with the consumer. And I like to call it emo packaging. And it's of course, it's very important to have it through all the customer journey, not only in the first interface in the point of sale or at home, but through all the customer journey. Steve Jobs understood very much how important is the packaging and how it can create a story, and storytelling through packaging is very important. Studies show that through packaging, we can reach to our subconscious and influence our behavior and decision-making and engage more effectively with our customers, because it combines the data telling and the personal telling. And it can capture our hearts and minds together. And this is the perfect formula to reach to the consumers. For example, if I write to my teenager son a long message, he will write back to me, TLDR, too long, didn't read. So we have to give quick information, although the regulation sometimes obliges us to share a lot of knowledge, and sometimes we have to add leaflets with tiny words that nobody reads. Another way to be more accessible and with the knowledge is to even share it through QR codes that even can translate the information and even talk out loud the information, and you don't have to struggle with the tiny words. But the best way is about personal telling. And I love this packaging because it's an interactive way to show that these buns are with high protein and are good for your fitness. So it's more engaging way to tell a story. So if we look at stories, they build trust and engagement, and they combine the customer with the facts in a much joyful way. And that's why packaging stories sell and facts tell. We always talked about IQ, and then there was the EQ, the empathy intelligence. And today, more and more studies show that another intelligence is required to succeed in life, but also in brands with their customers, and it's the LQ that stands for love and intelligence. And how do you reach and achieve this connection with the love and intelligence? So you have to go with more resources and go with a higher level of ways to reach to the customer. So if until now we used only the look and feel, and of course the design is very important, whether it's the graphic design or the industrial design, and also the feel. Today, there are some technologies that we can use the multi-sensory experience using not only the visual experience and sometimes the tactile experience, but also the olfactory experience, auditory experience, and the flavor experience, all the senses, and even create a sensory signature of the brand that should be consistent with all the interfaces, of course, in the packaging as well. And build a more holistic experience, and not only standing for the look and feel. And we see that neuroscience showed that using senses and emotions can influence immensely on decision-making. It shows how when you use also storytelling and also senses, it lightens areas in your mind and opens the imaginary of the customer and the imagination of the customer and influences his decision making. So we'll try to show how to move to holistic experience. So if we look at the textile experience, some great examples of textile experience without a lot of graphic that expresses the product. Olfactory experience is very important. It has it shows that it has a bypass to our subconscious and a very strong influence on our memory. Points of sale already use it a lot. They add the smell and it influences our experience at the point of sale. But there is also an option to use it on packaging. It's quite complicated because it's hard to control the release of the scents, but there's new technologies, not so new, it's used in other areas like encapsulation that can control the release and or the timing and the amount of scent that is spread around, because we don't want it to spread all around without any control. But today there are some technologies that allow to be used. Also the flavor experience that is known as connected to the olfactory. And here's another, here's what happened. I can't see the screen. Here is a nice option of an energy drink that is combined in the cup itself. We see a lot of developments of edible packaging that goes also together with a trend, not a trend, a need of sustainability, because it doesn't go as waste at the end. So a lot of development of edible packaging that is also challenging how to protect it from contamination. So usually we need a secondary packaging, but we see that there is a lot of development. Here are some other samples of edible packaging that you can also crack it and like an egg and stir it together with the product inside. The last sense is the auditory experience, and it can come from opening the packaging. For example, the experience of drinking champagne is not enough if you don't hear the sound of the release of the cork from the bottle when you open it. It's part of the experience. So a lot of brands put attention in how the sound of opening the packaging, but you can also add the sound or the music you want artificially by connecting the packaging to the digital world. We will talk a lot about connecting to the digital world because it opens a lot of opportunities. It can be by NFC or QR codes, different options. And you can also connect it to different moments, turn unpleasant moments to joy moments if you add the music inside. Also in the shower, for example, if you can download music and sing in the shower, and it's known that a lot of people like to do it. So why not add a QR code that can be downloaded in the shower? And I saw there is already a company that thought about it. I don't think they added the music, but they added they designed the shampoo packaging to adapt to the situation. So adapting to the situation is part of seeing the customer. And when you build a relationship with your customers, he wants to be seen, he wants to be understood, he wants you to know that he needs different needs, and look at the world from different glasses and different colors. And he expects the brand to adapt to his needs, whether it's to his different moods or his age. For example, Coca-Cola, that I will show some samples, are expert in adapting packaging and using it as a marketing tool to children or to teenagers or to even adults. Or adapting it to the situation. Here is another sample of, I think it was in Brazil, Luciana, that they launched ice Cokes, bottles that was spread on the beach, and it's also good for, it's a very eco-friendly packaging. Or use chromatic inks that can show us if the packaging is cold enough, and then have a nice experience. Another concept that I also think that Coca-Cola began with it is the direct person. They started it with Coca-Cola names and then forwarded to different phrases that was connecting, although it was mass customization and not personalization, but people, when they bought and found something that was personally connected to them or found their specific name, directly thought that it was directly for them. And this concept, direct to person, was started from Coca-Cola. And if we're talking about direct to person, it connects very much with a strong trend that is also here to stay, that is the e-commerce and the unboxing experience. Here you send it directly to the person, and the unboxing experience is very important. And if you click unboxing experience in YouTube, you will find millions of YouTubes that share their unboxing experience. So when it's about unboxing experience, it's about the discovery stage when you open the packaging. And the focus is about the inner beauty and not the beauty outside, and the experience once you open it. Vice versa, the focus when the packaging stands on the shelf in the point of sale, where the focus is more about being on the shelves and looking good there. So here, the inner beauty is more and the experience once you open it. But it's not only about being pretty. Packaging is, we have a contest, but not only about pretty contests. It's more about also the whole value proposition that the packaging brings with it. And I love this packaging, although it won a silver award 10 years ago, but it shows in a simple way what is the value of using this packaging and combining the product and the packaging together. I think it's very smart packaging. So it's about the value proposition, understanding it. And here is another Israeli example that won a packaging award in Israel and also the World Packaging Contest that looked at the UX, the user experience, and built also a user value. They analyzed the experience of painting and understood that it's not very convenient when you paint your home, your house, and you have to climb the ladder and then it spills all over the brush. when you put it in the bucket that is downstairs. So what they invented is a bag that you put on your bag, and you can pump it and it doesn't spill, and it's very convenient. Another example that also is an Israeli invention that won the WPO is energy spray that is required when you do sport. And they put a lot of thought about how to, the user experience and the user value, how to add it on to you when you run or do other sports. And afterwards, how it spreads evenly on your tongue, in your mouth. So there's a lot of thought put in how you use and what value it brings to you, and not only the beauty, that is also important. Sometimes it's only the small differences that make, it's small differences that you can make that makes a big difference. Also, when you think it's about what kind of use it will be, is it on the go, is it personal, or are you buying a pizza for the whole family in front of, and will eat it in front of the television, or it's a pizza that you will on the go and you will need a more convenient pizza. So it's also understanding about the intended use and designing it accordingly. I talked about designing it for the whole user journey, and also the waste management after you eat it and you need to get rid of the waste. The packaging can help and give you a better experience of user experience. So when we talk about a value, it's about the customer understanding what's in it for me. And here again, the packaging can help you understand what's in it for you, whether you want to lower the volume in your life, or maybe magnify it and magnify the use of the energy drink and show it in a very magnifying way. Humor always helps to consist messages, and I love this packaging that uses humor and also combines the inner and product together with the packaging. Value can come also in functionality, combining it with fun. For example, tea that doesn't fall into your cup, or squeezing the content and keeping it warm, or even sharing it with another person. So the design can give new functionalities and be also fun. It can open new opportunities. This on-the-go spirit was very popular, especially in the COVID time, when we didn't go out in pubs and we wanted to take home or on the go drinks, and it opened a very option of new cocktails, drinking cocktails. Value can come also as a way to help us control our lives, whether it's to keep you healthy and remind you to take your pills on time. It can come in a physical cap that you can turn and know which day it is, or it can come in an internet of packaging that you can screen it and get messages that remind you when to take the pill, how much to take, or even send some other adult to remind the grandfather that he has to take the pills, and also see reports how much you took all the week or all the month, and it's very valuable for a lot of people. It can also send you messages and even build direct communication. For example, it can measure how much sugar you ate and recommend you, if you are diabetic, to stop eating. Another way to control is also portion control. A lot of people want to eat the real thing and not the diet options, but to control the portion they eat, but not to suffer, to do it in an engaging way. And so why not do a sandwich to your child with a spray and with a picture he likes, and it can be even fun without a lot of, with a portion control. Me as a chocolate, I love chocolate. And so for me, these options that it's a portion control that is suited to the experience that I choose, these are very nice options. Another option also to portion control is taking from other worlds, like this, that can also save dishes to wash as well. You don't need a knife, and you can also use less amount of butter. Controlling is also reminding us to replenish. If a product is going to get you need to rebuy it, it can send you reminders. It can be very effective in offices or even at homes that you can't, you're not all the time there and you see when to replenish it. It can send you this by adding sensors in the packaging that can send you afterwards these messages. Packaging can also act as a guerrilla marketing. You can use a packaging for one product to publish another product. For example, Colgate did it brilliantly by using it in when you eat ice cream or eat pizza, to remind you that you also have to wash your teeth and let you know that, remind you. So guerrilla packaging marketing is very strong way to use marketing on packaging. Also creating new touch points. Usually after you eat the pizza, you throw it away or you put it in recycling. But here is a way to also play with packaging and turn the packaging to be interactive. And if you eat with all the family, it can also turn into a game with all the family. It can also expand uses, give recommendations of new recipes to use the packaging and not only eat yogurt as regular, but to give new recipes and ideas how to use the product, and it can also feed more sales of the product, of course. But when you use the interactive packaging, a very effective way of marketers to get knowledge about your customers. And this is one of the advantages of interactive packaging, the big data of the packaging. But not always the customers like to have them seen and collect data about themselves. And this brings me to the third factor that is very important for building relationships. It's about building trust. And here is a very nice example that I love, how you show that this watch is resistant to water. Building trust can also come by creating common values. For example, sustainability now, brands understand that it is very important for their customers, the sustainability issue, and they also design a lot of packaging that have that are eco-friendly. Sometimes the eco-friendly is not always the right solution for sustainability, and sometimes it can also come on top of the convenience, and it depends on the customer if he wants what is more important for him. But what brands try to do is, by doing eco-friendly packaging, help the customer to feel good with himself. But trust is very important, and customers understand that there is a lot of greenwashing going and a lot of fake news going on. It's very important not only to look sustainable, but to really do it. And I will not talk a lot about the solutions, but I will bring some examples. For example, SodaStream, that was a medium struggling company in Israel, was sold to PepsiCo because they understand that they have a very important concept, and look how they did them, spread their message. One family, 5 years, 70,000, 50 bottles and cans can be replaced with one machine and bottle. Very strong message in a very simple way. So keep it simple, but give the right messages. Sometimes less is more. I use even the packaging that Mother Nature designed for us. Sometimes we don't need to add to it, and sometimes we have to add to it for the shelf life of the packaging, especially for fruits and vegetables. But sometimes the packaging itself, the natural packaging is enough, and there are a lot of new ways to print on it directly, especially with laser. And sometimes we want to build more transparency and give more information, and then because the packaging has limited options and space, so we can use it also connect to the digital and 3D use augmented reality to see the whole picture and give also more information engaging in an engaging way. Information is also very important to build the trust. A lot of customers, it's important for them to understand the source of the product, so they can show them from farm to table, the source of the vegetable and what were the stages until it reached his table. So also here, interactive packaging can help and share this knowledge of the, track the whole journey of the product and be transparent to the customer. Safety as well is very important, and there's a lot of active packaging that can show the shelf life and when it's safe to consume the product or whether the product is already spoiled. So it's also a way of sharing with the customer and building his trust. Smart packaging can also help the customer to understand if the packaging is eco-friendly and in which bin he should put it and how he can be part of the recycling process sometimes they don't know where to, in which bin to do it, and if the product is safe and is it recyclable. So also here, interactive packaging can help in this experience. Another issue is of trust is the issue of authentication. And there are a lot of new developments of anti-counterfeiting packaging that can make that the customer can make sure that the product he bought is the right, it comes from the authentic brand and he's not buying not right packaging. So we talked a lot about interactive and smart packaging. And as I said, it's very important for although it's more expensive for the brands to launch it, it's very valuable for the brands as they can collect data, but data by itself is not enough. It needed to turn into valuable information and the right analytics to turn it into knowledge and into insights and, of course, wisdom. And there's the Internet of Behavior, which is collecting the data, analyzing it with behavior psychology, and helping the brands to understand their customers and bring afterwards solutions that are more suitable and precise for their changing needs. So this is, on one hand, it's collecting data about the customers, but on the other hand, it's being more precise and helping both the brands and the customers if they analyze right the information and turn the data into important wisdom. The most effective and the higher level of engagement with the customer is involving him in the success of the brand. And there's a concept called prosumer, which is the connection between producer and consumer. And how can you do it? For example, if customers enjoy your product and share it in their social media, I think this is the best and the most effective way to share your products and make it all known around, to promote it. It's better than just doing yourself advertising. This is the best advertising that you can ask if they share it with a good experience, because it can go on the other hand, if it's not a good experience, then they can also share it and it can be devastating. So if we were talking until now about the moments of truth, the first moment of truth, which is when you meet the product, that can be whether in the point of sale or with e-commerce when you reach it at home. Then there is the second moment of truth, that is the using experience, and we talked about the user experience and the user value. But if you build a good experience, then there is a new moment of truth. It's not very new already. It's the ultimate moment of truth. It's when the customer is sharing the experience in his social networks, and this becomes the stimulus for other customers that see it in their networks. So this moment of truth, the ultimate moment of truth, is very important. And to get a good ultimate moment of truth is setting initial expectations of the product and meeting and even exceeding these expectations And then the customer will share this experience with others and be the best way to promote your product. I would like to share with you a case study that I developed when I was working in Strauss Group. It was for our chocolate brand, Elite brand, but the brand, the cow, it's called in Hebrew. That is a very basic but lovable brand, and they wanted, the marketing asked for options to give more excitement and innovation to packaging. So we did a mutual project with Indigo that brings the digital printing, and they have a special application that can replicate different designs. And we designed 1 million different designs of packaging and printed it in a digital printer. And also we added instructions of how to fold it in origami to shape of a cow. So we combined here personalization, because each one had his own specific design of cow, and with do it yourself, and also reuse, that you use it for other actions. And then, so everyone had his own specific cow. But then we also asked them actively to share it in their social media, their specific cows, in different occasions. These are samples of people that shared their cow in different occasions and different places. And of course, there was a contest and the winner got a new iPhone. So this is a way to also activate the consumer to share the experience and the product in the network. So if I pack up all the opportunities that I talked today about, so as packaging as a marketing tool, we see packaging can connect between the brand and the consumer. And we talked about the importance of storytelling, how it can reach and create not only IQ and emotional EQ, but also LQ, the love intelligence. And how we can use multi-sensory packaging and create a sensory experience, and also reach the sub-content of the consumer. We talked about common values and using eco-friendly packaging. We talked about not only that packaging is not about only being beautiful, but also creating an exciting user experience and user value, to bring new values by using the packaging. And we saw some samples using IOP, the Internet of Packaging, and how you translate the data that you collect to the Internet of Behavior. We talked also about personalization and the concept of direct to person, how it's very strong in the e-commerce, but you can also do it by mass customization or by personalization on packaging. We also talked about anti-counterfeiting and the importance of trust, authentication, not fake news, and how you build trust with your customers, how you can create new touch points and exceed more users with the product itself. And in the end, we talked about the concept of prosumer, involving the consumer and helping him in the success of the product, and advertising and sharing it in the ultimate moment of truth. So that's all. You can reach me in this mail or in my website that shows my activity of packaging development, sustainability, innovation, and optimization in packaging. If you click PackTech, COIL. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Yes, thank you so much. You leave no doubt how packaging keeps being such a strong marketing tool. And it was very interesting to see all this concept and all the possibilities applied into cases, to real cases in the market. So it's not only about theory, but it's about making it happen. Also, you showed us how packaging communicates with consumers in an emotional and functional way, and really becoming the product itself and delivering so much services to consumers. And also from now on, with the digitalization and new technologies that are being there, how packaging can go beyond and increase the services that can be offered to consumers. So thank you so much for sharing so much information with us today.
My pleasure. Are there any questions?
We don't have questions here in the Q&A. I just wanted to ask you one question, and if anyone wants to submit, please do so via chat or via Q&A. Also, my question is, and I think it's something that we have to discuss. It's interesting to see that from all the examples you showed, and so many ones and so interesting ones, exploring packaging as a marketing tool, it's not something possible only for big brands, right? For big companies, but how is it important for small companies, small enterprises to explore their packaging as a marketing tool as well?
I think it's all I have talked about. It's relevant for small companies as well as big brands. It's not only for the big brands. Maybe they are more exposed to data and to possibilities, but sometimes small companies can move faster and be more innovative than the big brands. So open for all sizes of companies.
Yes. And one more question, Shihan. The digitalization process is driving us to this new reality of metaverse, that it's a digital reality. Yes. But we see that as an opportunity for interaction from brands with consumers. So how do you see packaging being used also as a powerful tool in the metaverse?
I think it will be very strong. I didn't find the effective samples yet, because I think we are in the beginning of this metaverse world for packaging, but I think it would be a very strong and effective tool also to join the metaverse and bring a very strong experience to combine it with the metaverse. I believe it will be in the future, and my next presentation hopefully will also include the metaverse as well.
Okay. We have a question from Joseph Nyodeza from Kenya, also a WPO member, and he's asking—
Hello, Joseph.
Hello, it's nice to have him with us. He's asking that these packaging concepts that you presented require a lot of investments. Are consumers willing to pay for it?
It depends. Not all of them are cost a lot, but also as I talked, you have to look holistically and not only on the price of the product, but also the information that you can collect through interactive packaging and the value of big data and the insights that are very valuable and cost a lot of money. So not only look at the small, but holistically, and understand that there are a lot of values that worth a lot of money collecting this information and interactive communication with consumers, opening new channels with consumers. It's a lot of value that you can gain and translate it to cost. So if you look at it like this, then sometimes it's worth doing it.
Yes, if I may comment as well, I think that, of course, brands have to balance cost with value. So you have to see, of course, how much it is costing, but on the other hand, what is the value that you are delivering to your consumers, right? I mean, if you are delivering a lot of convenience, portability, for example, the opportunity to reclose a product and reclose the packaging and save that product and use it longer so it can last longer. So always related to your target audience and as well to the benefit that you are delivering to your target audience.
Another thing is that marketing people put a lot of budgets in their advertisement, whether in the television or in the social media. And here you can take some of the budget to if you understand that it's a marketing tool and you can create interactive and even we saw some samples of guerrilla marketing on the packaging. So you can shift some budgets from the advertising as well.
So thank you, Joseph, for your question. Very nice. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you, Shiha, for sharing so many inspiring cases, so many interesting cases out there in the market.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you for attending and listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.